All right, today we're going to be covering lesson 3, non-adjacent angles. So again, we're on page 23. I encourage you to write down these so you have them all in your notes. 3.1, relating statements, finding related statements, excuse me. It says A and B are numbers that add up to 180, which statement must be true. So each problem here, we could come up with A and B. As long as they add up to 180, it's got to be, if it's got to be true for all of them in order for us to circle it, that it must be true. So the first one, easy numbers to try are 90 and 90. Maybe a second one we could try is 150 and 30, just a couple random numbers. So does A equal 180 minus B? Well, if B is 90, 180 minus 90 is 90, so it works for that one. Let's just try another one. 180 minus 30 is 150, so I'm going to say that one has to be true. How about the next one? If I have 90, is 90 minus 180 90? It is not, so I know that one must not always be true. And there might be times where it is, but obviously we're going to have trouble with that negative sign. If I double A and double B, do they add up to 360? Well, if I double 90 and I double 90, I get 180 and 180. Does that equal 360? Yes, it does. Let's try the other one. If I double 150, I get 300. If I double 30, I get 60. Looks like they both are going to equal 360. So let's add those together, and it must be true. Last one, does A and B have to be 90? Of course it doesn't. I mean, I came up with one example that does, but it could be 150 and 30, so that one doesn't have to be true. Example 3.2, use any useful tools in your geometry toolkit, so that just means anything we've learned thus far to identify any pairs of angles that are complementary or supplementary. So add up to 90 or add up to 360. So let's look at this one. We have a rhombus, and as we know, it has to equal 360. And what's nice about a rhombus is that two angles next to each other have to equal 180, which would be supplementary. So angle CDA and angle DAB would be 180 degrees supplementary. And I could label them just to show those two angles, a little visual that they would equal 180. Same would be true for these two, and these two. So there's 4 different ones we could list there. Second one looks like we have a right triangle there. So if this is 90, that should tell us what these two have to add up to, because remember, a triangle equals 180. So that means those two have to equal 90 as well, because 90 plus 90 is 180. So these two adding up to 90, there's a term for that. Do you remember what the name is for adding up to 90? And that would be complementary. Angle FGE and angle GFE add up to 90 degrees, are complementary. Next one, you're going to see a new term here, vertical angles. It says use a straight edge to draw 2 intersecting lines. Use a protractor to measure all 4, whose vertex is located at the intersection. So it just wants us to draw. I do not have a ruler handy, so I'm going to use my pencil box to just draw 2 sets of intersecting lines. Okay, so let's just make a guess of what this is. Looks like it's an acute angle, obviously less than 90 degrees. So I want you to be thinking of a degree there that you think that would work. And let's check it. Get my protractor lined up. My line is going to the left, so I'm going to start at 0 and going up to 40 degrees. Now hopefully you can see what kind of angle is made here. That is a straight line or straight angle, so we should be able to guess what this one is. line is going to the right, so I'm starting 0 here, and I work all my way to 140 degrees. Notice straight angle adds up to 180. Now what's nice about vertical angles by definition are angles across from each other when you have intersecting lines. So 140 and 40, the ones across from it have to be equal. So these are considered vertical angles, and they are equal. These are considered vertical angles, so they are equal. And what do you notice they all add up to? Goes a complete circle around there, so that'd be 360 degrees. And notice if I cover these two, straight angle adds up to 180. Straight angle adds up to 180. Straight angle adds up to 180 all the way around. So if we had one angle, we should be able to get the other ones. Okay, last portion. This was going to be kind of a problem type, or partner type problem, where you guys would each answer one and then see if you agree on your answers. So we'll just kind of go through them together. It says P is on line. Again, line means it's going to equal 180. Find A. So 34 plus what would give me 180 degrees? And your answer would be 46 degrees. Again, 180 minus 134. Find the value of B. So we have a right angle. Right angle means they're going to add up to 90 degrees. They're going to be complementary of each other. So 44 plus what is 90 degrees, or 90 minus 44 is what? Again, if you can't get it, just take 90 minus 44. You get 46 degrees. So once you guys agreed on that, then we're going to move on to the next one. So that should give you a hint on what all the answers will be. Find the value of A. So we have 90 degrees here. So that means this has to equal 90 degrees. It'd be complementary of each other. So 51 plus what is 90 degrees? 39. Same thing here. You have 90, you have 51, and you have something that has to equal 180 degrees in a triangle. It does tell you L and M here are complementary. That means these two have to add up to 90. 51 plus what is 90? It's the same thing we asked ourselves here. 39 degrees. Angles C and E are supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to 180. So 129 plus what is 180? And that is 51 degrees. Column B here, it says they are on a line. Again, that means they have to add up to 180. And I have three things that have to add up to 180. 95, 34, and B. So 95 plus 34 is 129. That means these two together is 129. 129 plus what is 180? 51. Again, it's the same type of thing we were asking ourselves for this problem. Find the value of C. Okay, find the value of C. C is right here. Looks like we have a 90-degree box here. That means these two have to add up to 90 or be complementary of each other. 42 plus what is 90? 48. Find the measure of angle C, B, W. That would be this one right here. Does again tell us that it's a line. B is on the line, so that means this equals 180. 67 plus 65 is 132. So that means there to there is 132. 132 plus what is 180? That is 48 degrees. Final question. Two angles are complementary. That means they're going to add up to 90, remember? One is 37. What is the other? So 37 plus what is 90 degrees? And that is, of course, 53 degrees. Two angles are supplementary. Remember, that means 180 degrees. One angle measures 127. What's the other? So what plus 127 is 180? Or 180 minus 127 is what? And again, your answer is 53. So summary here, vertical angles, remember vertical angles are across from each other, would be those two have to be equal. And these two would have to be equal as well. They are vertical, they are across from each other. Okay, kind of explains that again on the next page. Vertical angles always have equal measure. So that means if this is 150, this has to be 150. This is 30, this has to be 30 again. They are across from each other. So homework for you after lesson 3 starts on page 28, and there are 7 problems, so it does go to page 30. So those 7 problems will be your homework. Again, any questions, be sure you're letting me know. And again, we will go through those with another video shortly. Have a great day, guys.